I just want you to be a part of it. Get on the live. Welcome, Purd. Welcome, Purd, to the
100%.
show.
And we'll
Love
say
that. I'm going to
Inspiration Nation. Hello. Lee Kemp here for another week on a podcast. Here with Jose. Ryan is not with us this week. He might do a run in. He's a bit late getting home from work today. So, um, yeah, we'll have to put up with just Jose with me this week, I'm afraid, everyone. Um,
Oh,
yeah, bit of a sad intro that. Jose, are you good, my friend? Are you good?
I'm very good. I'm very good,
Glad to
Lee.
hear it.
I know we've had a little program before, and you are good too.
I am good.
I
You're
answered that
quite
question.
right. Thank you for confirming that I'm also good. Right, what is the subject this week, mate? What are we talking about?
Subject, right. So this is from author and poet Maya Angelou on finding family. This is the quote. Family isn't always blood. It's people in your life who want you in theirs, the ones who accept you for who you are, the ones who would do anything to see you smile, and who love you no matter what. Where does that sit with you, Lee, on that score?
What was the opener again? I concentrated too much as you
Family,
were saying that.
so family isn't always blood.
Yeah,
It's the
sorry,
people in your
that's
life
how I
who
thought it
want.
started. That's how it thought. I just got lost in the word family. I really like it. I really like that. I think there's obviously you have your family that you do have through blood. I'm fortunate that I get on with everyone in my family. I know not everyone does. But then obviously your friend, you choose your friends, your other people you spend your life with, etc., etc. And I do think you build bonds as close as you do with family, especially those that are there that support you through the hard times. You support through there through thick and thin, to use a corny phrase. But I've got a good number of people of that in my life, I would say. So I think that it resonates really strongly with me, especially with those bonds of people you get to know over years, if not decades, if not possibly longer, through those bonds that you formed. Not you,
Yeah,
you're not one of those
I
people,
love
just so you
this.
know. I'm just tethered to you by this podcast for
Thanks,
some
Lee.
reason.
Thank you. It's the lifeline. Yeah, sorry about that, Lee, but I'm always glad to have you in my life. And
Well, we're
yeah, I
decades,
just
Joe.
think
We
it's
are 20 plus years, I would say. And on and off, like
mad.
we said, we've talked about it on here. It's not been constant contact during that time, although it feels like it is now. I couldn't, as far as I'm concerned, I've known you for 20 years. It's not like, oh, yeah, we didn't talk to each other for 5 years. That kind of just blurs away, doesn't it?
It's funny that, and that's a really good point you've raised there because people family, some people don't get on with the family. I'm very lucky as well that I get on with my family really well. Don't have any challenge, but I expect there's people out there that have challenges with family. And what I love about this is that family doesn't have to be blood. It can just be someone that you really get along with and they can be part of your family. For me, family is important, of course. And like you say, Lee, you have been in this for like 20 plus years. And if you, oh, thank you, FCFC, for liking the live. You've liked the live. Ask a question. Feel free to ask one. Look at that. It's amazing. But Lee, this is the thing. What I love about this is that we're not blood related, for as far as I know.
I don't think
Just
so.
putting that out there.
We'll check that.
And we could be apart for 5 years, but we just get together and we just go in our routine. You just go, how you doing? And you just talk about it. I mean, this podcast is just literally, like you said, is the link, isn't it? And we're both very passionate about post development, people, putting good out into the world. And that's the connection. And that's what I love. And the same with anybody that I would connect with. I've got a friend that I haven't seen, well, I hadn't seen them for maybe 7 years, and they were the best man at my wedding. Don't really talk to them a lot, but they came over and we just rolled into like we've not been away. You just find that routine with people, and that when the ships are down, they would be there. And when my mum died, they sent me a message, "How are you doing?" And I didn't need much because in terms of dealing with it, I've got good people around me, and luckily I've got a lovely wife who's very supportive, and so we handled it. But it's lovely to know that there's always those people like yourself, Lee. You and Ryan helped a lot and always reached out. I know Lee, you did, and that's what it's about. It's what life's about, and that for me is it doesn't have to be blood. It can just be people that just want the best for you, and that you can seek counsel off and things like that. And I like that. I'm just trying to think of another example of that. But before I do that, Lee, have you got, apart from me on the podcast and Ryan on the podcast, are there people? I think I know you're going to answer this because I think I know this person. Are there people in your life that you have that similar connection with? You might not talk to them for a few years, maybe years, or maybe it could be months, but then if you met with them, you would just connect and you just roll into a conversation without much effort.
Yeah, I'm just trying to touch on that. And on that bracket of people who I would talk to on and off, like it's not, so I've got a couple of mates who we speak on an almost daily basis, normally just by text. But then I'd say there's probably, I'm counting out 4 or 5 people that I'd put in that bracket that were considered close friends, but we can go months, if not sometimes years without speaking. But as soon as we do, that's it just clicks. There was someone the other week, actually, one of my friends who we go significant lengths of time without talking, and he sent me a picture of someone we went to school with and was like, oh, do you remember blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, I do. And actually, I'm just going to talk to him about it. So I gave him a call and we spoke on the phone for like half an hour. And I say we hadn't spoke for months and months and months, but it was like we just spoke yesterday. And then it'll probably be the same now, months, if not sometimes years, but you've got that bond, you just click straight away. And yeah, I think 4 or 5 people I'd say that fall in that bracket for me.
4 or 5, that's quite a lot. That's good. That's like extended family there right now. And it's lovely. I think it's good. And that's the whole point of it, isn't it? Is to have that. I just want to give some shout outs again on TikTok. It's been great, really active. So thank you, SCFC. You've essentially got us up to 3.1k likes. So they've liked the live so much. It's been fantastic. So thank you for that. Sean, welcome back. And SCFC, if you're still here, feel free to ask a question. And Sean, thank you for liking the live as well. I know I've seen you before. Brilliant, you're on here. So ask a question, and we will address that. Using an auto clicker. What's an auto clicker? They're using an auto clicker. I've got no idea what that is.
But it sounds like we need
an
that
auto
as well.
clicker. Yeah, because sometimes we do this. Like,
so same question back to you, Jose. I don't count you and Ryan in that, by the way, because we talk every week. So I think that's quite frequently. But there are those people.
That's interesting.
Well, a week's quite frequent, I think. So you're in the regular contact bucket. So what was I going to say? Yeah, yours. So do you have many people you consider in that sphere?
Yeah, I'd say I've definitely got one other person, 2 people. Just trying to think. Yeah, 2 people for sure. I've got in mind that when we connect, we could just talk for hours. Like, just talk for hours, understand each other, and there's no pressure on it either. Like, if you want to meet up, great. If you don't want it, doesn't matter as well. Like, it's that whole connection. And I've gone through a bit of a journey with it because I used to think, oh, it's got to be once a week, or there's an expectation, but there's no expectation. I think as I've grown older, it's just about what you need at the time. So to answer your question is yeah. And I'm really lucky that I've got a lovely wife that's my best mate. Like, so that for me, my wife isn't blood, right? So,
you hope not.
But for me, they're my best mate. Well, I hope not. Thanks, Lee, for pointing that out. But I'm getting that. We were talking about this the other day, actually, me and my beloved. We say, we talk. We say, yeah, you're my best friend, and that's really amazing, isn't it? To have, a wife or a close person, a partner, that's your best friend as well. Not that it shouldn't, I mean, I imagine there's couples out there or people out there that it's not the case. People, different reasons are together, but for me, that's so important to me. And my wife's been there through thick and thin, seen me my really low ebbs, high ebbs. We've been together over 30 years. And they still have that connection that I know I could tell my wife anything, and they would do their best to understand and appreciate that. Of course, it's not always perfect, right? We have some arguments. It's not like we're going to paint that in rainbows, but that's the work, right? That's the
See,
work.
it lives with you,
You
Jose.
can't just.
There's no way
You
it's
have
going
to
to be
put your work
perfect.
into relationships. Go on, Lee. So you're saying I
That's actually
interrupted you. I
lives with
interrupted
you.
you. Go
There's
on.
no way it's going to be perfect. It must be hard work for her.
You're right. Well, you have to put up with me for once a week, and
That's
that's
it.
hard work as
It
it is,
is.
isn't it?
It's a
Imagine
struggle
living with the
sometimes. I
Jose.
barely get through it.
Imagine living with a Jose 24/7. That's exactly what my wife has to put up with. But that's the point, I think, here is I just can be my absolute myself with my wife, and to you as well, really. This is the version I turn up with, and a lot of the times, because there's a little bit of a tweak you do with work, right? We've got a little bit of a difference that we have when we show up in other places. But for me, really, it's just being my absolute self, sharing my fears, sharing my concerns, and being okay and not feeling judged. And of course, sometimes I must say, oh, would you, because you're not thinking at that deeper level. But most of the time, we're having great conversations in terms of where we connect. But there is sometimes when I go too deep, Lee, what I'm talking about, don't you?
Indeed.
And my wife goes, oh, I can see my wife going, it's just far too deep right now. What's going on?
Do our eyes
And
start to
because
glaze
my wife,
over and you see her drifting away?
yeah, well, it's just like the energy levels just go, and we just know, oh, time to stop talking, because my wife is an introverted person, and of course I'm extroverted, so yeah, it can be quite tiring. So yeah, that I just love this quote though.
I
For
think it's
me,
great, and
yeah, family is always blood.
it's made me
Mm,
think on that as well
go
because
on.
I'd probably class myself in the introvert bracket, but I don't know if that's really true or exactly how you fit in them because I've grown up in a big family, so I'm used to that, so that's normal for me. Um, and have quite regular contact with a lot of them as well. But then in that friends bucket, so people I talk to regularly, and the ones you'd count as, your friends you'd count as family that you have that connection with and you'd speak to quite regularly, and you'd invite if there was something really important going in your life. There's probably about 10 people I'd put in that bracket as well, which, like my family, is quite a big number, really, actually. So maybe I'm not as much as a recluse as I think I am in my head, maybe because they're there because those connections are really important to me, and it's important to maintain them. So it's not like it's just accidental. So yeah, maybe I need to assess where I sit on the whole introvert extrovert spectrum. I think because obviously other people's energy is quite important to me one way or another. But that's just
Yeah,
an epiphany
there's
I've
quite
had off the back of your quote.
yeah, 10 people is a lot. That's a lot more than me. I think I could only think of. I'd probably need to reflect a bit more, but I can only think of two immediate ones that come to mind, which is really interesting, isn't it? So on that score, I think I was just going to quickly give some shout outs as well, because thanks FCFC clicking for us, clicking fast for us, which is brilliant. Not sure what to make of that, but thank you so much for that. Paulina says dads. I don't know what that means, but sounds like we're a bunch of dads,
We are. We
which is
100%
great.
are.
Ben Bolt sent a couple of roses, so feel free to ask a question. Really appreciate that support and the love here in the TikTok world. So some really good stuff coming through. So thank you so
Excellent.
much for that.
Shall we bring in the new and improved Jose, Robo Jose?
Yeah,
One that is going
let's
to
go to
replace you
Robo.
completely one day.
Yeah, well, that's the aim, isn't it? We're here forever.
Inspirationation.org.uk are completely free coaching bot that you can use anytime. Jose uses this all the time. He was telling me earlier, getting it to create summaries for him of inspirational books. You don't even need to read the book. It can give you all the key points in one go. So we'll bring him up on the screen. We're on our two-person screen, so it's a bit messier than a three-person screen. He just kind of barges in the middle of us. But he's there, and I've said, can you share your thoughts on the quote? And then I've put in the quote you gave me, Jose. So we'll just click send there. We'll see what Robo Jose has to say. Again, inspirationation.org.uk. It's as easy as this to use. No cost, no sign up, no nothing. It's terrible English, nothing, isn't it? But that's it.
So who's like the live? We've got 12 roses now from Ben Bolt. Thank you so much.
Awesome
Appreciate
stuff.
that. And crazy is like the live. There's a question in there, but I'm not sure whether I can read it out.
Oh,
I know
you
you're
to
not
read
in
it
there,
out
Lee.
now. Hold on, I'll go on and have a look.
I don't know if I can. I don't
I'll
know if
have
I
a
can.
look and
Are
sanitize
you
it
a
for you.
something? I don't know what this means. Something sigma. I'm not sure sigma is quite a good word, but there's another word which I'm not sure I can read out
All right,
because
I'll have a
I'm
look.
sometimes I'm not I'm not too up with the new trends. So there's something I don't understand it, so I'm not going to read it out because I don't really understand it. So sorry, crazy. I've got no idea what that is, so I can't really answer your question, but
Well,
I
while I
would
get it
answer
loaded
it.
up, let's just talk about Jose of the
Go on
Robo.
then.
Robo Jose. So, what a powerful and uplifting quote. It reminds me that family extends beyond blood relations and is truly about the people who support, cherish, and uplift us in our lives. It's about those individuals who accept us unconditionally, bring joy to our lives, and stand by us through thick and thin. That's what I said. Building a strong support system of such individuals is essential for our emotional well-being and personal growth. That's a really good thought. So actually, yeah, it is. This is part when if you're concentrating on your well-being, make sure you've got those people there. They're part of it. And some of the key points Robo Jose said is acceptance and unconditional love. It's crucial to surround ourselves with people who accept us for who we are, flaws and all. This kind of acceptance fosters a sense of belonging and nurtures our self-esteem. Mutual support and care. True family members are those who go above and beyond to see us happy and support us in endeavours. Their unwavering support fuels our motivation, helps us overcome challenges with strength. And lastly, choosing our family. Sometimes we find more love and understanding outside of our blood relations. It's okay to create a chosen family consisting of friends, mentors, and even colleagues who resonate with our values and bring positivity to our lives. Remember, it's a quality relationship that matters most, not just the quantity. Surround yourself with people that uplift you and make you feel richer. If you resonate with this quote, it might be a sign to reflect on the relationships in your life and ensure they align with your values and bring you happiness. I love that, the values bit in there as well. That's a really good observation from the Robo Jose. What do
I
you
like
think on
that
that,
because it talks
Jose?
about surround yourself with the people. You know, you are you'll be influenced by the five closest people to you, which is a real. I think that's really truthful, and I like the thing about values because there are values that we share, Lee, for sure, about the podcast and what we're doing. And again, we talk about relationships. We want to have a great relationship with our audience. So if you're in the audience, you love this, come back for those quality sessions, i.e., these podcast episodes, because we want you to get involved as the audience. We want to be adding value. So we want this to be part of your support system. And we've got Robo Jose there as well, which could be part of your support system. And again, the drive on all this, Lee, is fantastic because we want, as a podcast, we want to be helpful and value add. And for me and Lee and the podcast crew and Ryan is how do we get personal development out there that's fully accessible to as many people as possible, so as lowest cost as possible. And you now have Robo Jose as zero cost, so that's incredible. So that's what this is all about. There you go.
100%.
No, I love that, and I think people could use this podcast as a bit of a support network as well. We've got so many episodes; it's fantastic. But again, you can interact live, ask a sensible question, and then you take it from there. Anyway, Lee, sorry, I really like that. Was you ask? Do you asking sort of covertly about my takeaway? I think you probably were, weren't you?
I was. That's exactly what I was asking. So come on. Is that your takeaway there?
My
Or are you going to
takeaway
add
is
to it?
no. The takeaway really is about the values. I really like that. I think you picked up on it. And I think
It's good.
the values you share with people. Which
That's it, making sure
I'm
they're
just going to
there.
add something to that just quickly.
No, I'm cutting you off now. You're
Just
done.
quickly.
You're done. Go
Just
on.
quickly.
Go on.
Just quickly. But it's also important for people to be able to challenge your thinking. So yes, the values should be aligned, but you should be allowed people should be able to challenge your good friend will always challenge you as well as support you. So I think that's really important in the relationship. That not only they don't agree with everything, they will fairly challenge you in a way that
Absolutely.
because they want the best for you. So that's just the thing I'd add caveat I'd add to that.
I like that. That's a good addition. Mine's my own epiphany. I'm really going to assess that how we, not obviously these things are important, but really be conscious of how they affect me and my well-being and everything else like that, and make sure I'm using that network to support me, and I'm supporting them back as well. That is my takeaway today. If you've got a good takeaway,
So
I'd love to hear it.
before you finish, interrupted. Before you do your thing, I just want to say, I think we should have a little bit of an extra bit in the podcast about we should ask the audience a question for them to think about and take away. and come back. So, what do you think the question should be to the audience around this episode, Lee? What were your thoughts?
I think it's just that. I think it's what have you taken from today? What in that quote resonated with you? And we'd love you to share that. We'd love to know what impact this has had on you.
Nice, love that. Brilliant. Okay, let's carry on.
No, it's all good. Inspirationnation.org.uk if you like what we're doing. Everything doing a podcast there. Robo Jose. Most importantly, like, subscribe, leave reviews, tell friends and family, and follow on social media, YouTube and TikTok. Most importantly, just look for Jose Noya Inspiration Nation, and you can follow us when we're live each and every week. All I need to do now is count us down. We'll be back next week. 3, 2, 1.
What?
Inspiration Nation.
Inspiration Nation.
Catch you guys later.
Catch you later. I have to do that traditional. Anyway, right.